Hello, beautiful people. As promised in my last couple videos, I wanted to bring you true leaders, trailblazers in the beauty and barbering industry. Today, I bring you some of the coolest but most business-driven people I know, the owners of No Grease Barbershop. No Grease is located right here in the Queen City of Charlotte, but most of all, No Grease started in the hearts of the owners. I want to introduce to you Damian Johnson, Jermaine Johnson, and Charlie Petty. All right, you guys, you know how much I love you. Beauty Meets Business is all about beauty and doing business. So we're going to talk straight up today. I'm telling you straight up. So we're going to start with Damian Johnson. I want him to tell a little bit about himself. Then we'll go to Jermaine or Mr. Petty. It doesn't matter. We're going to start with you, Damian.
Damian Johnson. I'm originally from Buffalo, New York. I moved to Charlotte in 1991 to attend Johnson C. Smith University. Graduated in 95, worked at a local barbershop here in Charlotte for a couple of years. In 1997, we started No Grease. Started No Grease with my brother, and, then the games began.
The games began.
Yeah.
All right, come on, tell us a little bit about yourself too, Jermaine.
All right, so, of course, if he's from Buffalo, I'm from Buffalo. And, but we actually started cutting hair at the tender age of about 13. Our mother was a hairstylist, and so we were introduced to the industry through her. And from an artistic standpoint, it allured us in, but eventually we actually got seduced by business, wanting to be in business for ourselves. And so, shortly after Damian graduated from Johnson C. Smith, I moved to Charlotte in 95, and 1997, No Grease was introduced to Charlotte. All of the Charlotteans out there.
So Dang was here before you, Jermaine?
He was here before me. He was 3 years before me, but I was in the shop before him. So this is important. People need to understand. Education is big. Education is big. I mean, all the way around. Whether you went to beauty school or barber school or went to college, education is big because it in turn will affect the way your business model is set up. So while he was in Charlotte, I was in Buffalo, actually cutting hair already in a barber shop. But I was not really exposed to the information that he was getting at college. He was actually doing his senior paper on the barbershop industry. So that plus my experience that I was having already in a barbershop, you started combining that, you started getting some type of mold of what No Grease possibilities might turn into.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Mr. Charlie isn't your brother. So we're going to pass the mic to Charlie. He's going to tell his story.
All right, my name's Charlie Petty. I'm from Savannah, Georgia. Came to Charlotte in 1997. Met Damian Jermaine, and from that point on, we was rocking. You know what I'm saying? Kind of had the same like minds. Wanted to have the same type of things that wanted what we want out of business. So we actually kind of got together and created No Grease.
So you have background in barbering from Savannah, right?
Yeah, Savannah, Georgia. Worked at Boys and Men Barbershop. Graduated from barber school in 1991. Moved to Charlotte in 97. And like I said, when I first got here, I was trying to find out, who was in the barber industry, who was serious about what they was doing. And then, all signs point to No Grease. They were just opening up the location. So I decided, join their team, and we were rocking ever since.
So you've been with No Grease since the beginning, or after they started?
Well, they was already open like about 6 months when I first got here. So they was already open 6 months, and I just came in, joined the team, and been here ever since.
Okay. Because everybody knows Dame and Jermaine as the face of the business, which is true, but they didn't know that Charlie Petty is definitely instrumental to the business as well, that you guys are partners. 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years.
Yeah, which is unheard of. Okay, these questions are from you guys. These questions were polled from Instagram. So as I read the questions, I'm going to say who gave me the question. Okay. So the first question was given by Crowned by China. Her question is, you guys are one of many black-owned barbershops to choose commission over booth rental model. What made you choose that route? Who want to answer that?
Well, No Grease chose the route of commission over booth rent. First off, we did booth rent for around 10 years before we even decided to switch to commission. And we had, did our research and try to get a better understanding of what commission was and how, what was the pros and cons of commission. And after we just did our studies and our
and just really investigating the industry, we just understood that if we wanted to grow our business, we had to go into the commission route. We reached out to leaders in the industry. We reached out to Mr. Dudley, to just make it real plain. We talked to Mr. Dudley. I reached out to Mr. Dudley, and I told Mr. Dudley what our dilemma was. Our dilemma was we wanted to grow, and I told him our structure was booth rent, and he said that if you want to grow your business, he said you're going to have to go either commission or salary. And that was the end of the conversation. It was no debate. It was no, this is a matter of fact. If you want to grow in the direction that you want to go in, you're going to have to go either commission or salary.
I want to just add something. How do you handle, because you transitioned from booth rent to commission, how did you handle that transition? Didn't you lose a lot of people?
Yeah, we lost a lot of, we understood that change would cost us. It would cost us relationships, it would cost us money, it cost us because we knew that we lost a lot of good talent. Brothers that we had a lot of respect for, they just couldn't wrap their mind around commission. And we lost them, but we went into that understanding that would happen.
Right.
So we had just prepared ourselves to make the change and deal with the consequences.
Right, but it sounds like a big risk.
Huge risk.
Well, one of the ways we went about doing it, but once we decided to do commission, we knew we had to get in front of the talent, so we opened up No Grease School of Tonsura Art, and that just gave us the opportunity to do what we always knew we had to do, is develop the talent that we was looking for. So one of the main things we did before we went to commission was open up a school.
So you guys created a farm.
Yes.
We need to add to this because this is no chaser. We're not.
That's right.
Most of the people that own shops right now, they're not doing business. They're not being held accountable to the numbers of services that come through their doors. They're not held accountable to being consistent with prices. They're not even holding the talent accountable to these things. And there's no business, very far and few between, that allow the talent to come into business and to presume that the talent understands business and let them do it. Walmart doesn't do it. McDonald's doesn't do it. No real business allows the guy on fries to handle all of the money.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense.
Right.
Especially when you're established. So when you start establishing yourself as a business, be it, since we're talking about hair, the hair business, you don't establish yourself as a business owner and then expect the talent to understand your business. It's not done in any other industry. And so as an owner of the shop, it's your duty to set up an infrastructure that reflects other businesses that are respected, especially if at some point in time you want to get financial backing by other institutions like the banks or angel investors or whoever, your father, your mother, your brother. If you can't show numbers that reflect any level of success, and all you can show them is I take in booth rent only if I got somebody to rent out the booth, then you've done a disservice to the industry, and you have not challenged not only the barbers but yourself to grow. That's the bottom line. We challenged ourselves. Our head was down when we made our decision. We was not looking at other shops. Other shops wasn't doing what we were doing when we were doing booth rent. So we was not comparing ourselves to other shops. We compared ourselves to real live businesses, the McDonald's of the world, the Chick-fil-A's of the world. That was one of your inspirations. So that's what we did.
Yeah, I can speak personally myself. It took me 27 years to transition my salon over to commission. And the reason why I didn't initially is because education. Like Dame said, we gotta keep it education. We gotta keep that education in front of us. It's like football. Before I understood football, I hated football. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So now, when I didn't understand commission, I hated commission. Mm-hmm. But the minute I understood commission, a light went on and I was like, wow. And Charlie always say to me, the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. Mm-hmm. And now I understand that. Yeah. So I can speak to the business owner that don't have a commission salon. Go get educated. Yeah. And then you have something to offer the talent that comes through the door. Yeah. So I definitely agree. Yeah. So the third question is, do you guys want to add on to that, or are you good?
No.
The second question is from S_C Geechee Gal. She says, what are some challenges? What are some challenges, and how did you all overcome them in the barbering industry?
Some challenges that we've had over the last 2 decades, it would be consistent with what you have in most of the black community, is stand together.
Wow.
And so as you try to grow and evolve, unfortunately, everybody that's connected with you, they don't grow and evolve. And then it's like the Jackson 5. Everybody want to be Michael. But we got a bunch of Tito's out here. And, you know, you can't leave. But everybody, because we've made open up a barbershop and salon, just, it's a cliche. It's not even, oh, I'm going to open up a barbershop. I'm going to open up a salon. Everybody do it, right? So you break up your family. You break up your group. And you really actually weaken not only yourself, right, but you weaken the current group just to put your name in lights. So I believe one of the biggest challenges is the breakup, but it's the buildup that shows who really is going to be around for a while. But that's just one.
Right. You guys want to add on to that? Straight. I want straight chair, no chaser. Dang.
So I would also say the biggest challenge is structure. You know, if you don't put your business in the proper order, have the proper business tactics, you know, you're gonna be very challenged throughout your whole career. You know, so you know they say have a business plan. Yeah, that's part of it. You know, have a system. That's part of it. You know, make sure you got your financial documents in order. Make sure you got an accountant, a CPA, those things. So business structure, I would say, one of the biggest challenges. You know, I can't rank them because there's so many challenges that you can have, but I would definitely say, you know, having a real sound structure, a business structure for your business is quite challenging.
Probably the biggest challenge for me is over the years is realizing that a lot of barbers, you know, have talent, but they don't come in with the hustle or the business mind or the go-get-it type attitude. You know, a lot of people just rather, you know, sit at a door and wait for a walk-in, but they're not going to put the work in to even build their business, build their clientele up so they could be successful at it. So, and then also on the flip side is you can have a location where you got, you know, the clientele there, and then you'll find out that they don't really want that much. So just, you know, I guess the opportunity to make the money and do the things you want to do that you always want to do to get into the industry, I guess to provide for your family, whatever, a lot of them not taking full advantage of that opportunity.
Wow. All right, number 3 question is, Lapleasy _ asks, how is no grease making a difference in the barbering industry? What difference are you guys making in this industry?
Well, one of the main differences we're making by opening up a school. You know, we're one of the, I think it's 2 schools in Charlotte right now. And, you know, for the last 13, 14 years, you know, we was in front of the talent, you know, trying to give them the best of what the industry has to offer, you know, as far as the business side of it and the actual technical skills.
Got you.
I mean, one of the biggest differences we've made is actually giving people career paths. You know, really showing there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and I think that would be something that the industry had been missing a long time. People just thought I could just cut hair from behind a chair, you know, my whole career, and not knowing that there were other opportunities in the industry, but they just wasn't presented in such a way that people understood that there is a career path in the industry.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, we're going to question number 4. Hair by Destiny asks, how does the industry look like for no grease in the next 10 years?
So the industry looks like this for no grease. In 10 years, we'll probably have well over 100 locations.
Wow.
Not only in the United States, but in 2 other countries. We will be considered probably one of the major businesses, not just businesses, but even black businesses in the country in 10 years. We would definitely shine a light on the hair industry that hasn't been shined, not in our lifetime.
Right.
Oh, no. You know, to paint probably a great picture for those that's thinking about no grease in 10 years, imagine the first 10 years of hip-hop. the evolution of it. Once people that did not look like you started imitating you. And that's going to be one of the biggest things from a cultural standpoint. When you have other cultures that respect an industry more than the people that created the industry, then y'all going to be sick in 10 years. Because what we're telling you is it's just all regular business practices. And in 10 years, all we would have done is perfected it more. And so the people that's going to be interested in moving financial dollars into an industry like hair, they're going to be looking for the people 10 years ago doing it. Not the people that just started doing it, just started figuring out, yo, this is the right way to do business. So in 10 years, we'll be in front of you again in 10 years. We'll be in front of all y'all in 10 years. That's that simple. I love to hate because it helps.
Could you tell the audience how many locations you have and where are they located?
All right, so we have a total of 5 locations. We have 4 in Charlotte, North Carolina. So if we start off with the addresses, want to do addresses?
Well, just the location as far as...
Okay, so we have No Grease Concord. We have No Grease Carolina Place Mall. We have No Grease Mosaic. We have No Grease Exclusive. And we have No Grease Sugarloaf in Georgia. So we have our 5th stores in Georgia, in Lawrenceville, Georgia.
And
then we have No Grease Barber School.
Right. Listen, I don't care what nobody say. I moved to Charlotte for 2 things before I even met these guys. I moved here for Chick-fil-A and No Grease Barbershop. These guys never even met me. This is how come I'm bringing them to you, so you guys can get exactly what I got. Like, every time they talk, they bring me chills. I don't know what they're doing for you guys, but I hope you guys are listening. So we go on to question number 5. Question number 5 is asked by Peaches on Instagram. You guys' names are hilarious, Peaches, but I love your questions. What are some of No Grease core values?
Our core values is, so I definitely would say our core values is being true to, express ourselves honestly. That's a core value of ours. It's really expressing ourselves honestly. Professionalism is a core value for No Grease. Community, building our community is a core value. Developing people is a core value. And really just carrying out, the business practices of any other business. Those are our core values.
So the values that we have been molded and shaped over 20 years. So we used to have I used a laundry list of values, right? But in business, I'm glad the question was what your core values were.
Right.
Because, communication is invaluable in business. So our ability to communicate, the experience of the customer is more important than anything. As much as we can be talking to stylists and barbers all day, but it's always been about the customer. And if we would collectively as an industry think about the customer, all our values would be the same.
Wow. Would you like to add something, Charlie?
From my experience, the main thing is trying to maintain and create the culture that you're trying to establish so you can have in an environment that you're developing people.
Flat out. All right. Number 6 is given by Devon on Instagram. Can you please tell the audience the meaning behind No Grease logo? Big question, you guys.
Great. The meaning behind the No Grease logo. This is the logo, right? All right, so let's peel this thing back a little bit. First of all, to be clear, the logo is a caricature from a art form that was developed in the mid-1800s, the minstrel show. This is a show or a satire or an act that was done by slaves or blacks, and then later by whites, when we and them dressed in blackface. They would put up a black cork or black makeup on their face, and then they would pretend and do skits to imitate black people, make fun of black people. And this was the leading form of entertainment in America. The first and leading form of entertainment in America was making fun of black folks.
Wow.
So that's the deeper part, right? So if you can't take that, right? You can't take that. No grease, no makeup, or no grease in your hair. You bring that together. So no grease was never just about cutting hair. It was always about the unmasking. Who are you? Do you love you? And to have come up with that at such a young age, right? That was a punch in the mouth of anybody that knew the history of black folks. To everybody else, it would be offensive because they don't know history. They're not historically sound on those things, which is fine because they took all this history out of our schools anyhow. So it's fine that they don't know. But no grease that's what it's the unmasking. It's the not pretending. It's the no shucking and jiving. That's what we are. No grease barbershop.
Man, I just want to shut it down now. That should have been my last question because I'm about to tear up over here. But do anybody else want to add on to that? Man, it felt like me. Yeah. Jay took that one home. Yeah.
Well, I guess like the same thing would be, like he was just talking about hip hop, something that, we take for granted, first form of entertainment, we look at it from a different standpoint because of the history we got behind it, you know what I'm saying? But what we was able to do was embrace it, you know what I'm saying? And real talk was like, okay, this what you thought about us? Now we're going to show you we ain't shucking and jiving.
Wow. All right, question number 7 is asked by _216 Neat. Something major just happened for No Grease. You guys are now a franchise. Can you explain to my audience the difference between a franchise and having multiple locations? First of all, congratulations. And I would need you guys to let the audience know that these guys are the first black barbershop owners to franchise in America. Google that. Go ahead.
So, I mean, franchising is so, I mean, a lot of people thought we were franchised years ago. And some people think because you're expanding, because you have multiple locations, you're franchising. And that's not the case. And so we had to get educated on franchising also. So once we understood what franchising really is first of all, is a whole legal process to get certified to be a franchise. And when you go through that legal process, you have to have a system of structure. You have to have a real sound business to be able to offer and sell to other people. So what people are buying from you they buying the whole concept, your whole structure, your everything. It's an A to Z turnkey process of how to run a business. And so that's what we did. We went through, we got combed through from legal people to try to understand what our business was, what was our model, what was our system, and that's what we did. So we became a franchise through legally going through the process of having a outsider come in and help us become this franchise. So when we did that, that kind of separates from actual just a person who's expanding their business. So now people have the opportunity who don't know anything about the barbering business. They can invest in buying a franchise. Just like if you bought a McDonald's, we use McDonald's a lot. You don't know anything about the actual business of McDonald's, but you trust that the concept and the structure that McDonald's has gone through and has been finalized through the federal process of becoming a franchise is legalized. So now you will say you feel comfortable with going to buy a franchise, a Subway, whatever. Anybody that's category as a franchise, they have all gone through the same process. And that's what we did. We went through the process to become a legit franchise.
Right. How long was the process?
The process took us roughly about 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
That's I mean, actually boots on the ground. I mean, it took us probably 20 years to become a franchise because you really got to know your business. They're not gonna let you slide through because you throw them a little, 5-page, business plan and you became no. You got to have a proven system that they're gonna take you through this grueling process to make you, because what you're doing, you're selling this license to people to put a business out there to the public.
Right. So it got to be
And-
like a turnkey.
Yeah, a turnkey, and the state is giving you this seal approval to sell this license.
Right.
So it has to make sense to everybody involved. And I ain't talking about barbers, and I'm talking about business people. I'm talking about legal people saying that this is a legitimate business that can be sold for potential profit.
Got you. Say, for instance, you want to add on to that, Jay?
Yeah, I want to add one of the differences between a franchise and just owning multiple shops. And this is a statistic that I didn't make up, but they say 8 or out of 9 to 10. So let me do it like this. They say 9 out of 10 mom and pop businesses fail. They say 9 out of 10 franchises succeed. And the main difference is first of all, it's a proven system. It's a proven infrastructure or brand, if that's what we want to use the word brand. And also, it's a support system. So the franchisor, which would be us, supports the franchisee, which would be one of you potentially. We support them. We support them with all of the knowledge that we have, all of the experiences we have. We support them throughout their process of owning their franchise. So we support our brand. Even though it's owned by the franchisee, we support it because it's our name on it. So that's the difference. That's one of the main difference. And the success rate is totally different than just mom and pop.
Right. So say somebody right now out there wants to open up a barbershop and they want to be part of you guys. Can you give them the information? Where do they need to go? How can they contact you guys?
So if there's anyone out there that wants to be part of a No Grease franchise, you will go to nogrease.com. Go to our No Grease franchise page. All the information, the basic information is there. There's a inquiry form, a franchise inquiry form that you would fill out. Then one of us three will reach out to you, have that conversation, and then you'll come out and make a site visit, which we call Discovery Day. Show you the magic of No Grease, and then hopefully get you to sign on the dotted line and become a franchisee. And from that process, we will begin to train you and build you up, make sure you got the proper management around you. Look at locations. You can go out there and find locations. Of course, they have to be approved through No Grease. And then, then the fun begins.
Right.
We do the ribbon cutting.
Right. I just opened up a business myself about 6 months ago, and I'm telling you guys, I wish I had somebody to go under versus open up one myself. Like he said, they coaches you through the whole thing. It's almost like a mentorship, and it takes out all the guesswork. Yeah. I had a bad experience with my with this salon I just opened. The contractor and the architect hated each other. Right. So, like if I would have went under a franchise package, guess what? I wouldn't have had any of those problems. I'm saying it's a lot of stuff that can be cut out if you guys just get somebody over you. Don't always want to be, like people fail to realize that stars shine, but they shine amongst other stars. That's the part they don't get. But I want to thank you guys for being here. But before we end this, I need you guys to take the floor. I want you guys to give my audience, young entrepreneurs, recent graduates, licensed professional, veteran stylists, veteran barbers, recent barbers, graduates, could you please give them just everybody, I want somebody to drop a jewel.
Well, I guess the first thing I would definitely say, if you're a new barber, new stylist, coming to the industry, definitely have a mentor. Find somebody that's respecting the industry that you look up to, and just get under their mentorship. Whether you work with them or not, you need some guidance in the industry. You're gonna need some times of motivation, some different ways of how you need to market yourself. So definitely do that there. And I will definitely leave on this note here: the gift is free, or the game is free, or the talent is free, but the hustle is sold separately.
Ah, man, Charlie said it all. I mean, I just think one of the things, if I could tell young stylists, young barbers, or young business people, everything when it comes to progress is not going to have a paycheck at the end of it. Some progress is going to have a lot of sacrifice. It's going to be required that you have some sacrifice, and you're not going to have a paycheck always. So as you're growing your business, as you're growing yourself, you just got to look forward to the bigger picture. Just don't do it for the paycheck.
Right. But it's funny that you even said that. You want to pass that to Jay? Mm-hmm. You had told me and Charlie one time you were having a conversation with us, and you said you just want to be able to exchange some intellectual capital. Mm-hmm. Like, just listening to you guys talk, this right here is valuable. Oh, yeah. Like, these people can run with this. Yeah, so you guys are, like my mother used to always say, or was that you, Charlie? There's no value in free. I don't know, I get them both mixed up. I'm gonna tell you why. Because when you got people in your life that's instrumental and they all on the same wavelength, you get them mixed up. But either way, there's no value in free, but when you're getting this type of information, it's adding value no matter what. Yeah. So go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, if I had any words of encouragement, it would be just a self-evaluation type of thing. And to think about this maturation. Were you a great student? If so, great. Were you a great talent? If so, great. Were you a great leader or mentor? If so, great. Were you a great owner? If so, great. Were you a great educator? If so, great. But if you was not great in all of these positions, you got work to do. You got work to do. If you wasn't a great student, because we're all students, you need to work on being a great student. If you wasn't a great talent, you need to work on how to be a great talent. A great mentor or leader, you need to work on it. Owner, work on it. And definitely, we climax when we become an educator, when we become someone who teaches everything that we know of the previous things that we were great at. So if you wasn't great in these positions, then we got work to do.
Let's give the website, the social media, all the social media real estate right now before we leave.
Yeah, we can be found on nogrease.com. That's our website. You can go to No Grease Barbershop on Instagram. You can go to No Grease Barbershop on Facebook. I mean, we No Grease everything.
No Grease Barber School.
No Grease Barber School. So everything is No Grease. Google us, No Grease, and you'll pretty much find us everywhere.
Right. You guys, I want my audience, because you guys love and respect me, and I love and respect you. I'm telling you, check these guys out. Go look at their page. I'm telling you, these guys are legit. I'm talking about legit. So if you guys don't have anything else to say, I'm going to close this. Go ahead.
Yeah, I knew you closed right there. we were social before social network. So I don't, we 20 years in. So
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Before we leave, speak on pre-social media, real quick.
Yeah.
Just speak on pre-social media.
I'd like to just start right there. We were social before social media, and we're gonna stand the test. If social media blow up right now, we're still gonna keep doing what we do. So those that are famous now, that's great. I'm glad they got the fame, but I don't want to be confused. I don't want my 20 years of business to be confused with a guy or a girl or whoever that just started 2 years ago and they got 1,000 likes. This ain't the same thing. I wish the educated people would understand this. I don't mind if you uneducated, but if you educated and you comparing me, my 20 years, to somebody that got 1,000 likes over the last 2 years, shame on you.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the first social the first social network was the barber and beauty salons in our communities. That's just the first social media. I mean, I've got mine. The first social network was the barbershops and beauty salons. Mm-hmm. Before there was Facebook, there was the barber and the stylist. We shared everything. You got all your information first with us. We are still the key to the human touch. We are one of the very few industries that still have the human touch, and it's not going anywhere. That's why we can still talk about, the barber and beauty industry, especially. It's still such a powerful impact in our community because that's our thing. Right. That's our thing. So yeah.
What was it?
Social media.
Yeah, pre-social media.
Pre-social media. I guess the main thing about pre-social media is we had social skills, so it was nothing to get in front of somebody, have a conversation, and I guess that very thing, just sitting and talking to somebody. I was talking to my partner the other day about just being out in the cold and building a clientele. So when you actually start doing the hair, even if you're 5-10 years down the line, it's kind of hard to walk out on those people or make crazy decisions because you remember that cold night of developing that relationship. So it ain't just easy as a person just coming to get a haircut. It's a relationship you built. So pre-social media, it's not about likes. And a lot of people liking you, they probably don't even know you. It might be family members. So, reach outside your circle of, the social media and get some social skills.
Right. So I want to thank No Grease Barbershop, Charlie, Dame, and Jermaine. And like they said, if you want to get in contact with these guys, you can check them out, nogrease.com. I'm going to end this. If you guys want to check out my stuff, you guys already know I always got something for you guys. beautymeetbusiness.com. That's beautymeetbusiness.com. You can catch some videos and ebooks that's going to help you grow your business. Check it out, beautymeetbusiness.com. And if you know anybody that's making a positive impact in the beauty and barbering industry, please email me at beautymeetbusiness@gmail.com. That's beautymeetbusiness@gmail.com. Remember this, you are purpose beyond the chair, and love, peace, and hair grease. No grease. See you guys on the next Straight Chair, No Chaser. I am your girl, the empowering Angel Robinson.